Let's go.
Let's do it.
All
right.
This is Nikki.
What? Oh, are you starting?
I just did. Why not?
That sounds weird.
I know it does.
This is Brooke.
And this is Nikki.
And this is my so-called whatever.
It's the block party.
Welcome to the block party.
We ain't leaving out nobody.
So welcome.
Welcome, welcome. This week is unique.
This week is unique.
You aren't going to be here for this episode. Wait, yes you will. You'll be here for the...
Well, I'm here. I'm here for the episodes.
Right.
But I'm not...
You're not going to be here next week.
Right.
The week after. The week after when this comes out.
Right. Because this
is Friday.
This comes out on Wednesday.
Right.
On Friday, I fly away.
You go.
And then I come back the following Friday.
Yes.
So, right.
Cool.
I'm excited, though.
To go?
Yes, I can't wait for
I'm
hopefully warmer
for
weather.
You too.
I don't think it's that warm down there. I'm going to Florida, Disney World. I don't think it's that warm down there, but it's warmer than here, I think.
And it will be fun. Are you going to all the parks?
We are going to all the Disney parks.
Well, that will be fun.
And the Christmas party.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm excited. Sadie is excited.
Does she have a Christmas outfit?
No, not like anything special, but they'll have a t-shirt we'll buy down there.
Oh, that's cool.
Perfect. And, yeah.
We'll make it down there sometime for the holidays.
This is my first time going at Christmas time, and I'm so pumped.
I'm excited. Post lots of pics.
Pete's always worked, like, retail, so we could ever go as a family, and I thought, he doesn't even have to go. We'll just go with my mother.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought
It's just the girls. Me, Mom, and Sade.
You're going to have fun.
We are. Thank you. So this is a unique week because we're, like, doing a lot of episodes right today.
Yeah. And it's going to be cool.
It is.
We got lots of coffee, and we are ready to go.
We are ready to rock and roll. So what do we got today?
So we have this story that we got. That we received. And it was amazing. So we're going to read it to you, and then we have a surprise.
Awesome.
So...
Want to get into it?
I want to get right into it.
Let's get right into it.
All right. So this story is from our friend Charlene. And here it goes. Hello, ladies. My name is Charlene, and I'm writing from Long Beach, California. I'm so glad to discover your podcast. As a lifelong New Kids lover, your conversations and musings are probably what all of us have thought, which is why I appreciate your podcast. Well, thanks, Charlene. By the way, this is the girl that I thought might be my birthday twin.
Yes, I remember.
I was very excited about that. She is not, but that's okay. My birthday is December 1979. I'm tickled to find you two are my age. Now, as for my New Kids on the Block history. I think I discovered them at the end of 1988. By 1990, I had over 80 posters of the guys, with many, of course, of my favorite, Joey. Nah, I can relate. By 7th grade, my friends and I thought we were so cool because we started listening to Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and the rest. Hey, that's like you.
That sounds just like me.
I turned my attention away from New Kids until 1996. My best friends, Lene, and pardon me if I'm not pronouncing that right, but I feel like it's Lene, and Stacy, thought it would be hilarious if we went to school just as a regular day of 10th grade decked out in our New Kids on the Block gear. We wore shirts, hats, buttons, jackets, and I taped New Kids on the Block cards to my jeans. Tons of our classmates were asking us why we were dressed like that, because New Kids on the Block are still great. Yeah, they are. And then we went back to Lene's house and rewatched her VHS tapes and really wondered, why did we ever stop loving New Kids? I do not know why we did not take photos of ourselves that day.
I do not know why you didn't either.
Right, because that's amazing.
That would have been so fun to see.
Fast forward to 1998 when Loveline was on MTV. Loved that freaking show. That was another show that we would watch sometimes.
I loved Loveline.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
You guys would come over.
And Dr. Drew?
But we'd come over and we'd watch a little Loveline. Sometimes we'd watch a little Jerry Springer.
Or both.
Or both. My friends were trying to call in with fake love scenarios to get on the show and have Dr. Drew give advice to us.
That's awesome, by the way.
Yes, because I would come up with stupid scenarios. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. And they'd be like, "Are you lying, Nicole?" And I'd say, "Yes, I am." It wasn't until my friend was hooking up with someone at her job, called in and told the true situation, that the producers asked if she wanted to be on the show in studio. That's crazy. I went with her, and she didn't want to be seen on TV, so they told her she'd be in the igloo on stage for anonymity. Did I say that right?
Anonymity.
Anonymity, not anatimity, not the Amityville horror. Anonymity? No.
Anonymity.
Anonymity?
Yeah.
Anonymity. When we pulled up to the lot in LA, we asked who the celebrity guest would be. They said, "You'll be here for 2 tapings. One is Mark McGrath, and the other is..." Guy snapping his fingers trying to remember. "That kid with a new album. Joey McIntyre." That kid with a new album? Really, Guy? Really? That's all you got? Holy shit. Since she was going to be in the show, they'd put us in the front row. Joe came out, and he was 8 feet in front of me. Honestly, my first thought was, if I rushed the stage, I could hug him. Wait, don't be a psycho. If you sit here, you can watch him for a whole hour and not get kicked out. So I did that.
Smart move.
Hey, it's all about the resistance, like Brooke was talking about last time.
Yep.
It wasn't until 2003 when I actually met Joe for the first time. I was living in Monterey, California, and heard a radio promotion that he was doing an outdoor concert at the mall. They were giving a select number of wristbands out at the warehouse. Oh, is that like a thing? What is that? What's the warehouse?
The warehouse. It's probably a place out there.
Oh, okay. For a meet and greet. I went there first and got the last wristband. I'm a photographer and took some black and white 35 millimeter photos. I almost said shots. Photos of him on stage with his guitar player, songwriting partner. After the concert, they ushered us into the line where I met a girl who just happened to be on the Central Coast for a friend's wedding. Oh, her friend knew she was a New Kids on the Block fan, and I told her about the event. We plotted. I'd take a photo of Joe and her with her camera, and she'd do the same for me. I put down my old New Kids on the Block card for him to sign and told him about seeing him on Loveline. That Dr. Drew gave great advice, and Joe's advice was, "I say, if you're having fun, keep hooking up with him. See what happens." He starts laughing, and I completely climb on the table to take a photo with him.
I never saw the New Kids in concert the first time around, so in 2008, when they got back together, I was thrilled to see them live. There's something magical about loving someone when you're 10, then seeing them be awesome and dead sexy when you're a grown-up. In 2015, I saw them in Anaheim, got reunited with Lene, and we bought tickets to the Los Angeles show the next week with a meet and greet. I was in the 3rd row on the floor and on the end of the stage that Joe did the best choreography for Twisted. Yes, that choreography. I know that choreography
White
well.
pants, that one? Is that the one you were referring to?
I think so.
Oh, hey.
I don't know the color pants. I just know the choreography. I couldn't think of anything relevant to say to Joe that night. Nerves got me, but I did wear the lowest cut shirt I had to press the tatas into my first crush. Perfect.
That's awesome.
This year, when Graham from Comedy Film Nerds podcast announced Joe would be their guest at the LA Podfest live show, it was on. Side note, Graham is such good friends with Joe, he spent last Thanksgiving with the McIntyres. Graham and I became friends a few years ago from my work. I saw him a few days before the convention, and I told him, "Just so you know, you can trust me with Joe. I've met him twice before. I won't embarrass you. I just want another photo." Day of the panel, he got me into their green room, but it was hectic, and Graham said, "We'll get you after, okay?" No problem. I was sitting in the front row, taking photos, of course. They did the whole show, and I walked up to Joe as he came off the stage. I walked up to him, smiling. I said, "Hi, I'm Charlene. I'm Graham's friend. A million years ago, 14, you did a show in Monterey and I took photos of it." I handed him an envelope with 4 black and white shots of him on stage with his guitar player.
I want to see these pictures.
I do too. "These are great. I love getting these," he said. I told him he could have them. I wrote my Instagram on the back of the prints and asked if we could take a photo, which my husband took of us. I thanked him for coming to Podfest and walked away freaking perfect. Wait a minute. That sounded weird. I thanked him again for coming to Podfest and walked away. Freaking perfect. He took photos with all the blockheads who went to the taping. So sweet and so gracious.
Hey, we even got a video. Hey.
We did get a video. I love that video.
I do too. I watch it occasionally.
I do too.
When I'm like having a bad day, I'll just watch that video and be like, "Hey, Joe knows me."
He knows
Is that
my name.
weird?
He said my name.
Even if he did have to get cued. That's okay.
That's okay. He thought we were Brooke and Nikki. One person named Brooke and Nikki.
Well, that's okay too.
That's fine. But then he figured it out. We're two people.
Yeah. And then he talked about ghosts. Does he know me?
I don't know. That's what I thought was weird. We're getting off on a tangent.
That's okay.
This email is getting long, so I'll get in touch again if you want the stories of calling John Knight after finding his info on the 1996 internet.
We want to hear this.
Yes, we do. Or helping Molly Ringwald at my job. For love, I'm a photographer, but for rent, I work at Whole Foods Market in the LA area. You guys rock. Big hugs from Charlene.
So we love the story so much. We really, truly did that we really wanted to
follow up.
Right. So we talked to Charlene and we were like, hey, we want to hear more. We want to hear about this 1996 story about you finding John's.
I want to hear that story.
So guess what? We're doing a little something special tonight.
We have Charlene.
We do. So we're going to feed her in. It's going to be amazing. And so it's kind of cool because I don't think we've never read the story and then had somebody on.
No, we haven't. And I think we might like how this works out. Let us know, you guys, if you like this.
Yeah. So we're just trying some different things.
Right.
So
without further ado.
Yes, here's Charlene. That sounded like Kermit. Sorry, Charlene. All right. So without here's Charlene. Here she is. Good grief.
Why did it sound like Kermit?
All right. So I'm waiting for Brooke to start, and
I know.
She wouldn't start, but
we started.
Yeah, here we go. And we've got Charlene. Hey, Charlene.
Hi, Charlene.
Hello. Hi.
We're so happy to have you.
I know. We just read your story, so everyone's heard it.
Right.
And
yay.
We're so happy to have you on.
Yeah. And so we learned from Charlene, because we were talking about noises in the background and stuff like that. And she was like, talking about have the air conditioner on. We had turned the heat off because we were afraid that it would pick up, but we're cold. So we're going to turn the heater on.
It is cold.
Turn the heater on. If it's cold, I don't want you guys to suffer, okay? Turn the heater on. As an avid podcast listener, I say it's okay.
So we got the heat on, so you can hear it in the background. But it's cool, because we'll be comfortable.
It's cool, because it's warm.
And we won't be sniffling, because, a lot of times if you guys hear us sniffling, it's because it's so cold in here.
Or it's so my cold. Allergies.
Yes. Or we're sick. So, Charlene, first of all.
Yes.
That was an amazing story. When I got it, I was texting Brooke a play-by-play as I was reading it. Because
the first thing you said was, I don't remember if you said, I think I found my birthday twin. I hope I found my birthday twin.
Yes.
It was something like that.
Oh my gosh,
I hope she's my birthday twin.
Yeah, that's immediately. So that was the first thing I was like,
just by 2
weeks. So because I'm December 1st and you're December
14th.
So
pretty close.
We're pretty close.
I mean, nearly.
Yes.
We can say it. It's fine. I claim the whole month anyway.
All right, cool. Hey, because that's what it's like for us December babies anyway. It's like, oh, here's a birthday for Christmas and your birthday.
Yeah. And I said, you know what? You wouldn't do that if I was born in July.
That's right. That's right, Mom and Dad. That's right. I do have to say, my mom and dad were pretty good about that.
Yeah.
But still, it would be like, oh, do you want this or do you want to wait and have this for your birthday and Christmas?
That would be hard for a kid.
It is rough. My parents, they used to let me choose if I wanted to get the Christmas tree before my birthday or after. And my birthday's in the middle of December, so it's like, it's still my choice. Do I want one or not? So that was my one little fun perk.
That is neat.
Yeah, it is.
I was not asked that. The Christmas tree always went up the day before my birthday or on my birthday. Mm-hmm. So it was like, yay! Christmas,
I think that's why
birthday.
I even get super bitter when it's November and people are like, Christmas. I'm like, no, it's not December.
We wait until my birthday and then we can talk about Christmas.
It's like the year's going fast enough already. Can you all slow down? Thank you.
Right. Exactly. So we had some pretty cool conversations beforehand and we hadn't introed yet. So we will probably splice them in here and then we'll continue the conversation because they were pretty amazing.
Right.
So we're going to splice them in right here and then we'll continue. So here it is.
Because
no, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say because, maybe if it sounds weird, that's why.
Yeah, if it sounds weird, because I'm so weirded out by it.
And it probably won't sound weird.
And you know what? I'm going to include that part that we talked about. Because then people will know why I'm so, weird about noises.
Perfect.
Which is fine.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be weird anymore.
No.
Because now I figured out why I'm so jacked up all the time about noises.
It's because of that first iTunes review.
It is. I've got, I'm
and we've
scared.
had 43 since then.
Yeah.
That have all been yay.
Yeah. Do we have more than that?
Yeah, we do.
How many do we have?
We have 46 total.
That's crazy. It was yesterday we had 3. We were very excited about that.
3?
We had 3, and because the other 2 were great. And then we had the meh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they say when you podcast about something you're passionate about, you will find your audience. And I think that with the group and the page and everything, I think that's happening pretty swimmingly.
Well, we appreciate that. We absolutely love this.
So much.
Seriously, we more than you know. We appreciate that because we love this a lot. Sometimes I wonder if I love it too much. I don't think it's possible.
No, I don't think it is possible.
I think it shows, and I think the community shows, and I think all of the back and forth that happens on the group, it's we're all, I think in every single state that all of us are in, we're just this.
Yeah.
More.
Right? I mean, I was serious because Brooke was like, oh, are you sure? I was like, let's have a sleepover. I feel like I know everyone. We're all friends. Have a big sleepover party.
It would be fun to have a big sleepover party. That would be fun.
Which sounds like something that's a terrible idea. Oh, you should not do that. But I'm yeah, of course.
We are all friends.
Right.
I was going to say girlfriends, but there's some guys too. So we're all.
Which I think is fantastic.
Isn't that awesome? I'm so excited that there are guys too, because we get their perspective on things.
I know. I think that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. So, speaking of perspective. I'm trying to say.
That's an amazing segue.
Speaking of perspective.
Well, actually, it has nothing to do with perspective, but there was one part of your story, if I may segue back to your story.
Yes.
You know which one I'm going to talk about? Because I want to talk about Little John.
You can talk about anything. I am totally an open book and full of... I have a crazy memory, too, where I know... I have a bit of a photographic memory. I know once it's in my brain, it's there forever. Not numbers, but I know things about bands I don't even listen to. Or oh yeah, that's that guy from that movie and blah, blah, blah that I never saw. Why do I know that? So once it's in or once it happens, it never leaves. So
I'm going to need your help in the future. When I'm what was that memory that I talked about in that episode? I'll be let me email Charlene. Maybe she knows.
I'll be actually what it was.
Because seriously, it's been difficult lately remembering things.
Yes.
And even things we just talked about. I'm oh.
I struggle with that. And I don't usually struggle with my memory. But sometimes I think it's just we just talk about so much.
We do, yeah.
And it's hard to keep it in order.
Right.
To know what episode did we talk about that on?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. Do we even talk about it? Because sometimes we have removed things because we get a little crazy.
Right.
Maybe we'll release this stuff later. There was one episode, Charlene, and to the audience as well. And we've talked about this.
The one that
we talked about Return of the Mac. No, what song was it that we talked about?
Yeah.
Was it Return? It was Return of the Mac for an hour. No, nobody wants to hear that. It was so ridiculous. We just stopped, both of us at the same time. And I'm Brooke, what the heck? What are we doing? What are we doing?
We wasted
right. And we were I guess we're.
It was not usable.
No.
Maybe you can do just cut through and make a short bloopers / outtakes episode of the don't even put it in context, just the most ridiculous things that didn't make it and just roll with it that way.
There are some really bad ones.
There are some really bad ones. I can remember I would have to play it to Brooke because I'm Brooke, I don't remember saying this. Can you please listen to this? And a lot of times I'll go through a whole story and then I'll say the person's full name but I'll say it multiple times and I'm stupid. I'm not even going to bleep it. I'm just going to remove the whole story. So maybe I should go back and put those stories in and just bleep the names. Oh, like people, like real life people we know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or maybe not, because maybe I'll wait till after our reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll have all kinds of stories.
Good idea.
Hey. Maybe we could do a whole thing. Because, so if you guys didn't know, we're all class of 98.
Right.
And,
Whoa.
yeah. Woo! Well, okay, Charlene, let me ask you a question. Being a Prince fan, because did you feel the same kind of devastation that I did when I listened to 1999 and realized that we wouldn't be graduating in 1999?
Yes, and then to top it off, when my brother graduated in 1999, they played it at the graduation.
Yeah. Don't do
I'm
that.
like,
That's a
you
slap in the face.
lucky ducks. I didn't even mention anything about Prince, right? So I love Prince so much. My parents are big music lovers. Like, they took us to concerts growing up.
That's
and
awesome.
like, we'll just take my first concert was Men at Work.
No way!
That's amazing.
How old were you?
Like 4.
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That is
We
awesome.
They took me to see Men at Work, and then we saw the Jets with Stacey Q and Jermaine Stewart.
Oh my word!
I think I was 6 or 7, and we even saw Wham and Katrina and the Waves open for them.
What? That's insane.
I know.
What?
I know. My parents were like, well, let's take the kids, and so I never saw
Cool
Prince in
parents.
concert when I was young, but we would watch night tracks on TBS and videos on MTV, and you know, just
Yes.
music was like a go. And so I grew up loving Prince, and even just, you know, through my teen years and 20s, and just I'm obsessed with Prince. I ditched my Spanish final in college to go see Prince. I have no degree because that's where my priorities are, and I have no regrets.
No regrets.
Not a single one. But when he passed away, I wore purple for a month
Aw.
because I was like, yeah, it was so important. I have a tattoo on my arm that says "Dearly Beloved" in like the Prince font.
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Because I'm like, true love is forever. And so but
You're
my brother
so
got to
cool.
enjoy the 1999 at his graduation.
I was
which
I was
didn't have
legit depressed about it. Like, I was so excited. I'm like, this is gonna be I'm gonna graduate. This could be the theme song. It's gonna be awesome. Let me do the math. Oh
no.
Oh.
I can remember. I know exactly where I was.
Darn.
I was sitting on the carpet in my bedroom, listening to it. I was so excited. Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I mean, I'd gotten it after that came out because
Yeah.
that came out in like, what, 87?
Oh yeah, we were super, super small.
Yeah, but I got it because my sister gave me a bunch of her tapes, and I think that was one of the first ones that I got.
Yeah.
That and Two Live Crew. I think that was an accident, but I loved that. I loved me some Two Live Crew.
Yep, really good beats.
That's where it all started, right there.
Two Life Crew?
Yeah,
Yeah. I bet it is.
I'm serious.
That and
Then it was NWA, and then it was. I was like, I'm in.
then you were introduced
all
to
in.
Positive Vibes.
Yep,
It was all over.
that was it.
Oh, okay. I have a tangent. So
Yeah.
Let's do it.
speaking of like 90s R&B, do you remember the singer John B?
A little.
He was
bit.
a white guy.
A little
He
bit.
did a Pretty Girl was with, I think, Babyface, or Cool Relax was his big album. He has like a song with Tupac. He does
I think
Will You
that's
Say Boo?
Tupac. I think that's how I know him. And
Yeah.
I also, Maria was talking about him. Maria and
Yeah.
Jackie were talking about them, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
how do I
he had
not
a
know
really
John B?
good like R&B like dance song in 2000 called oh my gosh, Don't Talk. Oh, I can't remember right now. Well, the tangent is he still does shows all over the place. And in 2012, he did a show near my parents' house at like this lounge. So like my friends went, and so we were like, yeah, we'll go. We didn't get seats. So it was just kind of like a standing room. It's like a restaurant. So we were standing at the front where the standing was. And this goes to you, Nikki. So he came over to us who were standing there and singing. And I took my hands, open hands, and ran them down his chest. From the top of his chest all the way down to his belt. And he just stood there and was like singing like in our faces, and he didn't flinch and he didn't back up. And I was like, that's right. I just ran my hand all over John B's body. No, I think so. When you said thing about Jordan, I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, finger. I was like, oh, that's not bad at all.
Brooke thought it was. You should have seen the look she gave me. I thought she just looked at me like that.
Like I saw a ghost.
You were like, what are you doing?
The hot man protocol, right?
Oh man. I like See, and there are no videos that exist because no one found any. Or they burned them for me. Yeah. So that's good.
Like I took a picture of John B. as he was walking towards me, but then like my friends didn't get any pictures of me like manhandling his torso.
That's
but
awesome.
I did it, and I don't feel bad.
Hey,
I love it.
I love it.
I'm really
so glad you did that. I'm so glad you know what you did.
Okay, no. So you want me to tell you the John story, the John Knight story?
Yes. We are ready for this.
Okay, so after we dressed up as new kids in the New Kids fandom, and literally everyone was like, "Why are you guys dressed like that?" And it's 1996, so it's not cool to like the New Kids, and we're like, "What? They're awesome! You guys don't even know. Like they're really good singers and really good performers." And like we did the bit every single class all day long. So then we went back to Lene's house and we watched all her VHSs and we were like, "Oh my God, look at them. Why did we stop?" Well, so now we're like back to being full-fledged fans, and her neighbor across the street had, I'm gonna put this in quotes, the internet. And so they let us. Yeah. And they didn't even, I don't think they had any kids our age. Like they're like, "Oh yeah, you can come and use our computer." So one day, Lene and I,
just kidding.
Oh yeah. So Lene and I, they might not even have been home. Anyway, Lene and I were on their computer on the internet, and as limited as it was, and so we just decided to search in whatever the white pages was, Jordan Knight. We're like, "Oh, let's just search," and it was like, "Oh, Jordan Knight," and it had an address and a phone number. It's at Essex, Massachusetts. And we're like, "Oh, that'd be so funny if it was Jordan Knight, right?" And so then we searched, let's search John Knight. And it was the same address and same phone number. I mean, people didn't know in 96, don't be listed. Right, so I'm sure they just put the white pages on the internet, right? Like as a resource.
Word.
So now we're like, "Oh my God, we have to call. But what are we going to say?" And we're in California at our neighbor's house we're going to call the East Coast randomly. Sure, let's use their phone and make a long distance call.
Oh my word.
So we're going to do it. We don't even think we shouldn't. And so we call and she says, so she's on the phone and she says, we hear, "Hello." It's a guy's voice. And she's like, "Hi, Jordan?" He's like, "No, this is John." So we hung up the phone.
You hung up?
We hung up. Because we didn't know. We didn't have like a plan. We didn't know what to do. So we just like hung up. And then we were like, "We're so stupid. What are we doing?"
Oh my gosh.
We spent the rest of the night like trying to like come up with the plan of what we could possibly say if one of the Knights answered again. And we couldn't think of anything cool or that didn't sound stupid to our 16-year-old brains. And so we never called back. But we had John on the phone. "No, this is John." And then we were just click.
That is amazing.
That is.
You got to hear the sultry sounds of Jonathan Knight.
Of the sweetheart John Knight. And we promptly hung up on him.
That is a riot.
That is a riot.
I would do the same thing.
I would do the same. I was just going to say that's what I would have done.
Because even if we had a plan, it would have just like, that's what it would have come out. Yeah.
Because we're like, "Oh, we're calling from a news," but like, no, there was nothing. We didn't plan a follow-up. We're like, "We should call. Yeah, let's call. It's got to be the house. No, how many John and Jordans with the same last name live in Massachusetts? Probably none. We got to call." Like it was ridiculous, and we hung up on him.
So, John Knight, if you're out there and if you're listening,
I apologize.
Do you remember a little time back in 1997, 1996, right?
I think it was 96.
And somebody called you and asked
for Jordan.
And asked for Jordan. And you said, "No, this is John." And then they hung up.
That was Charlene and her friend. Calling from their neighbor.
That's awesome.
That let them use the internet while they weren't home.
Found the internet, yeah.
Yes. It was kind of like that guy that let us use the pool.
Yes.
We would go, this is total tangent.
But
there was this guy, I don't even know, and it was like somebody knew somebody who knew somebody. That the guy said that we could go swimming. Yes.
Yes, they were old. It was like old people.
Yes. And they said that we could use their pool.
Never saw them,
but we used their pool all the time. It was an in-ground pool because,
Yeah.
Maine pools are kind of...
Right. Like, you don't find many pools in Maine.
I'd really like to have one, but it's like, you get to use it for 2 months.
Exactly.
So, we used it all the time. We never thought there was anything wrong with that.
No. Never.
Maybe there was.
There's probably cameras and all kinds of stuff.
Who knows? I don't even know. We never saw anybody. Nobody ever came out. People were home.
It was the early days of the internet.
Right. So
maybe they had a webcam up there.
It wasn't like they didn't know people were there.
Right.
Like, oh, it's just the girls. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Creepy.
I know. Like, that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
we had
you know
fun.
what? It was good times.
We had fun.
Good people, good times.
Good tans.
Good memories.
Yep.
Nobody died. It's fine.
Nope.
That's right.
That's right. Why are we not dead? I don't know. So, let's talk a little bit more about New Kids on the Block. Because this is Block Party.
That's true.
And yes, I think we gotta give the people what they want to hear. Hey,
that's right.
You guys got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Maybe they didn't. Maybe we cut a bunch of stuff out. Maybe we saved that.
Which is fine.
We'll just do what we gotta do.
We just do what we gotta do. I'll probably just leave it all in.
That's right. I think that's fine.
So, do you have any other stories? Any New Kids on the Block related stories?
Well, I did have, so I've only done one meet and greet, and that was with the 2015 tour. Mm-hmm. And that's when I really realized, I knew my friend Lene had been on the cruise before, but waiting while they had us grouped, to do the meet and greet was when listening to the people, was everyone's like, okay, well, everyone had plans and everyone knew like how it went. And I was like, oh, this happens a lot. Okay. And so when we walked in, like I knew I was going to go straight for Joe because he's my favorite forever. Right. But I didn't think like, well, what should I say? And so we walked in and he was like reaching behind the curtain. I said, what do you have back there? And he's like, oh, gum. I said, oh yeah, that's important. And then couldn't think of anything else to say of relevance. And so it was me and this girl, and she had like a boot on her foot because she had an ankle injury. And so we take 2 pictures, and I was wearing the lowest cut shirt that I had, and I was just pressing the girls into Joe as much as I could. And then afterwards, it was like the after party where they just had a DJ and whatever. I said, so you're gonna be next door? Of course he is. He's there for the after party. I'm asking him, so you're going to be there? And he's like, oh, yeah, totally. I was like, okay, yeah, thanks. And then they push us out. So security's pushing us out, and there's this big, huge crowd. And the security pushes me into Donnie. And so now I'm hugging Donnie, and he's like, oh, thanks for coming. Thanks a lot. And then they push us some more, and now we're out in the hallway. I was like, oh okay. I didn't say anything worthy to Joe and got shoved into Donnie and got a hug from him, too. So... okay.
That's I should have. Yeah. I mean, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, was 2015, because we've done that twice.
Was that the 98 Degrees one?
No, that was with TLC and Nelly.
Okay, so that was the one that we went with Steph.
Okay, so we did not do it that year.
We did a 4-star, but we did not have the meet and greet.
We didn't do the meet and greet. So was that 2013?
Yes.
Yes, because... That was 2013 because I was pregnant. My cousin's like, you should still get tickets. I'm like, I might be in labor or have a brand new child.
Oh, okay.
And they go, it's okay. I was like, no, it's a little too close. I had her in June, and I think the concert here in Los Angeles area was July. So I didn't go to that show.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's when we did the first one.
Right.
And then, but that was like I felt like that first time.
Well, because everybody was talking, just like you said, like they'd already done this before. We had no idea what to expect. Like, I went through all of the message boards and I'd never read anything about.
Right. Well, see, I didn't even think to read anything online. Like my friend. So what happened was, my friend Lene, we were really great friends all through junior high and high school. And then she moved up to Northern California to go to college. And so we lost track of each other. And we got back, thanks to the internet, thanks MySpace, we got back in touch with each other. And then Facebook. And so I went to that 2015 show. We went to 2 shows that year. One was with my 2 cousins. And my other best friend, which was just like a fluke because my cousins called me. They said, our friend's not going. Do you know anyone who'd want to go to the show tonight? I said, let me call Wendy. So I called her. I said, you working? She said, actually, I'm off. I said, do you want to see New Kids on the Block with TLC and Nelly? And she's like, sure. And so she came like super last minute. But from where the section we were in, I said, I think Lene's in this section. And I found her. She was like a little lower and over to the side. So we went and we were like, hey. And she said, all right, now I'm thinking after the show on Monday when the tickets go on sale for Los Angeles to get tickets for that too. I said, let's go. I said, if you go,
awesome.
I'll go. And she goes, I think I might do the meet and greet. I was like, all right, if you do the meet and greet, I'm totally down. And so we ended up going like literally the next week. And she went to the Nick and Night tour.
Oh, we missed that. And I'm so upset.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw like a blip of it online, but I didn't do much. I was like, well, Jordan's great. And I don't like Backstreet Boys, so I'm not going to go to that. So she went, and it was at I think it was like at a House of Blues, which is a very small venue. And then she paid for the next day, like brunch with Jordan. And so you go to the show, and then the next day it's like at some hotel, like it's one of the ballrooms, and they had brunch with Jordan. And so he went around, he was taking pictures with everybody, and like she has like great photos on her phone, and then they took professional pictures, and it just was a ton of fun. And like she was pretending to like kiss him on his cheek when he was taking the selfie with her camera, and she didn't do it. And he's like, "What? You're not going to land it?" And she's like, "Okay." So then she
what?
Yeah. So then and so
I got giddy there.
I would die.
I'm getting giddy for you.
I would die.
I wasn't even there, and she tells me the story. I was like, whoa. And so she said, I didn't see him do anything, do that with anybody else. So I'm totally like thinking I'm special. I'm like, you are special. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So she met this girl there that we're still friends with her. And she's like a super young, like early 20s blockhead. And so I was asking her when we were waiting, I was like, how do you like New Kids on the Block? Like, you're like 24 years old. I don't understand. She said she kind of like stumbled across them and just really liked them and just got head first, fandom for the New Kids. I was like, how old were you in 1990? Like, I was trying to figure it out. But
she's like -3.
Yeah, pretty much. So I like I said, I beelined it for Joe, and Lene went straight for Jordan. And when they we're gonna like put your arms around the girls, and so he like went to do that, and he like looked at her, and he like stopped and he looked at her, and he said Anaheim, which was the city that they saw him in, and she pointed at herself and she said Lene, and he's like, hey, and like he like gave her a hug. I was like, he remembered you. And so she's like, yeah. He's like, my friend Christine's over there. And so she pointed at Christine. He's like, hey, like waved at her. And so we get pushed out, and I'm all like flustered from not saying anything cool to Joe and getting shoved into Donnie, and now we're outside, and she's telling me the story. I was like, he remembered you. I was like, that's amazing.
That is so amazing. That is so amazing.
Like,
that makes me happy about Jordan Knight.
Me too.
Because it had been more than a month from the Nick and Night thing to when we saw them on that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was like, I might have spazzed, but they're totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Oh my gosh, I am like, I can't believe it. Like, that's awesome. I like hearing Jordan stories, because like I don't hear a lot of them.
No.
Yeah,
we talk a lot about Joe, and we talk a lot about Donnie.
I talk a lot about Joe because Joe.
Oh, just Joe.
I don't talk much about Jordan, but
maybe you should. Maybe you should.
Feel it.
Maybe you should talk more about Jordan.
Well, it just seems like he's real, like, kind of selective on his internet presence. So
he is
like, Facebook Live, but then he doesn't like Instagram all the time or things like that.
You might have to separate from me.
What?
You might have to separate from me,
What
because
do you
maybe he
mean?
might look at you and be like, "That girl, nope."
Why?
I remember what you did back at NKOTB
back in 2011.
So I remember back in like 90 or 91 where they were doing an interview talking to the guys. It might have been on MTV News or whatever it was. And they were asking, you guys get mobbed and attacked. What do you think about that? And I remember like Joe and Danny being like, it gets kind of intense and blah, blah, blah. But Jordan, he's the one that's like, no.
Right.
I love being attacked.
Oh, wait, he did?
Yeah.
I thought he was nervous about it.
No.
No.
I just remember all the guys being real hesitant, and he was like, no. I love being attacked.
I remember seeing something
Jordan.
like that.
Maybe it's a good thing.
I may have seen it recently-ish on YouTube.
Yeah, it was from back then, though. But he was the only one that was all about it.
And just so the audience knows, I really don't think that Jordan remembers me. It's just a joke. I just want to make sure everybody knows.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
So no trolls on the internet like, oh my god, she thinks Jordan remembers her.
Right, because it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, what you know what I mean?
But I think
shout out
listen,
to the troll. The trolls need to mind their business.
Yeah, but I think the people that listen to us, like, I mean, if we have somebody new that thinks that, well, then that's good to put that disclaimer in there. But I think for the most part, like, everybody knows, like, they're not like that.
Just in case, they might listen to this one first and be like, I'm turned off by that.
I'm turned off by that.
That girl thinks that she and Jordan have a special relationship.
Because she ran her finger down his chest.
I do really like that grown man song that they don't ever do live.
Yes.
I love that song.
Okay.
I love that song. Brooke, that's one of your top.
I wouldn't say like it's a top 10, but it's like, it's just one of those songs like I really like when I put it on, I like it.
Yeah. Hey.
They did do it when I saw them the first time in 2008, and I was like, yeah, and then I've never seen them do it since, but that's fine.
That was a good concert.
I like some grown man.
Yeah.
Well, there was something I was going to say about one of the concerts, and I can't remember. We were talking about us. So she said, you didn't go to NKOTB?
No.
So I know that you've listened to us because we kind of crossed over there.
I know.
So awful at first.
So I put on one of the New Kids Facebook groups that why haven't New Kids put out like a concert video? Like anything recent. Like I love Depeche Mode. They've put out I think 3 concert videos in the last 10 years and I buy them all on Blu-ray because I'm obsessed with Depeche Mode too. And I was like, if they would do that. And so a bunch of people commented like, well, they did. They're on YouTube, there's a full-length HD version of the NKOTB.
Yeah.
And I thought, fine, I'll watch it. And so I watched it, and it might have been different live, but I was watching it thinking, if I was there, I'd get so irritated every time Backstreet Boys were up. And I know they're fine, and I know they put on a good show, and I know, like, I didn't have any other CDs, but I know the words to their songs, but I was just watching and being like, when is Joey coming back?
That's funny that you say that because that was my reaction the very first concert we went to. Because we went to 2.
2 of them? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when they first started, I was like, oh my God, I don't care. I like when, I don't want to hear any of that. I just come back on. It was different than I thought it was going to be. I thought that they were going to open, do you know what I mean? Maybe sing a song together and then it'd be New Kids on the Block.
Right.
But all the back and forth.
Right.
Like,
and it was pulling at my heart because I was truly there for New Kids on the Block, not Backstreet Boys. But then something changed.
I have like a grin on my face. This was my favorite tour. This was my
really?
Yes. Every time I say that, you say that.
I know, but I still can't get
this
over
is my
it.
favorite tour. I loved this tour so much. Like
both shows from the beginning, both shows.
Yes,
I'm going to respectfully disagree.
This is my favorite tour. I just loved it so much.
This past one was my favorite tour, hands down.
Well,
favorite tour, hands down. Looking at the other concert experiences. Okay, and again, we had good seats.
Well, if we talk about experience, it's different.
Okay, so this was the best concert experience.
This was the best concert experience, yes.
I would say the best concert was probably 2008 because the emotion of all of that.
Yes.
And just like, holy, I cannot believe this is happening. I cannot believe that the 5 of them are right there singing. I thought this day would never happen. I was losing my mind. Losing my mind.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I have a cousin Stephanie who's 4 years older than me, and she loves New Kids like I did. And so I don't know if she saw them back in the day, but when they came back in 2008, I saw them in the concert first. And I told her, I'm like, there's something magical about loving somebody so much when you're that young, and then being a grown-up. And watching them, it's not like, oh yeah, we're doing like this sad, pathetic tour to try to make some money because I'm broke. Like, they're obviously having fun. They're obviously still super talented. They're obviously still dead sexy. And now we're grown-ups watching them put on this phenomenal show. It's the energy. I've tried to describe it to people, and unless you're a crazy New Kids fan and you've done it, I don't think it can be really described.
It can't be.
No.
Because nobody understands in my life.
No. And that first one, I really wish you were there. because I feel like you could have experienced that with me, but I felt kind of, there's part of me, which but I just didn't care because there was so much, I was just crying. Like crying, tears.
Really?
Because I was so happy. Like I'm going to cry right now. I was so, you have no idea.
I never thought I'd see them.
No. And we had not so good seats, but I can just remember because we were in the front row and there was a bar and I can remember my hands hurt because I held onto that all night long because seriously, it was like I had such intensity that I was there and this was happening. That it just was beyond anything. And the adrenaline. Mm-hmm. Because, again, like, this. Like, that's all I ever wanted was to see them.
I know.
It's magic.
All I ever wanted was just to see them one time. And then when that band's reunited, I just bring that up.
It broke your heart.
Yeah.
It did.
It broke your heart.
Because Joe's the one that said no. And see, they have him on the footage saying no. And I just remember being like...
Charlene told me that. I blocked that. I
must have Joe's blocked that. No. I was in my apartment and it was coming on. It was a News on Block, and I had a friend. I lived up in Northern California for a bit, and I was watching. And she called me from Southern California saying, oh, "How did we miss this? Well, they got back together." And then I looked at to see the running time, and it was 30 minutes when that show was like an hour.
Yeah.
And I said, so from the beginning, I was like, "They don't get back together." She's like, "How do you know? They could have filmed this here in LA. We could have been there." I said, "No, it's only 30 minutes. I bet you they don't get back together." Because when they went to John, I was like, "Oh, John's gonna say no," and he was like, "Yeah, sure," and I was like, "What?"
I love his accent so much,
I know.
And you just did very perfect, exceptionally perfect accent. Oh my gosh!
And that's why I couldn't remember. It wasn't until we were talking about that in the group where somebody's like, "Well, actually, Donnie and Danny didn't want to be on camera," because I couldn't remember. I was like, "Where was Donnie?" But my vision revolves around Joe, so I was like, "Oh, I don't care about Danny." But I didn't remember they weren't even on the show.
Wow.
I don't remember the show. Like I don't remember. I remember I know I watched it. I don't remember it. And I wish I could find
I had to take
thing
a moment
on YouTube or something.
I had to
it's just clips, right?
Yeah.
The only part they show is Jordan.
Right.
And I'm just like it affected me.
Because it's like it could have happened. They could have done it, and now they're saying no. So then it's like a definite no.
Right.
Well,
That's that.
Because they're not going to do it when they're older. You know what I mean? Like
right.
you think to yourself they're not going to do it. If they say no now, they're never going to do it.
But you know what? Never say never.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
because nothing is random.
That's right, Joe.
That's right.
Yeah, but see that's the other thing too. When they didn't, I mean, being in the Los Angeles area, it is like everything is filmed here. So it's like, oh yeah, you can get in tapings for this show or that talk show. Or, they need audiences for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So when they actually didn't, and I wasn't living in Southern California at the time, I was like, well, I'm kind of happy it didn't happen and I missed it, because if they were just going to do this once and I missed it, then I'd be depressed for a month.
Right. No,
oh
I
my
can't.
word, I couldn't even. But
that's why I was trying to find the Joe on Loveline, but I think since they did so many Loveline TV shows, like no one's gonna I'm gonna archive this on the internet.
You never know. Somebody might have it on tape. So if anybody has it on tape,
yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes.
When Joe was on Loveline, please.
And you know what? I have so many tapes.
I have.
I'm sure people
so many tapes,
and I save them.
I do too,
because
I don't have a VCR.
Neither do I. But I'm not gonna get rid of my tapes.
I bought them at yard sales.
Do they work?
Yes, they do.
Can I borrow one?
Possibly,
Can you hook them up to
yes.
like the TVs that nowadays?
Yeah, they all have audio. Like mine upstairs has an audio in. You know what I mean? Like in
the red yellow cords.
Yeah.
Because I have so many tapes. I have a bin.
So here's
full of tapes.
Why
of,
don't you
MTV.
and I? Why don't you and I invest in getting one of those units? That's a DVD. You pop the DVD in.
My mom has one.
Bring it over.
And
while I'm sitting here, guess what I'll do? I'll put a tape in. I'll put a DVD in. I'll let it record, and then I'll work, and then I'll go over, reset, do it. Seriously,
I'll get it from my mom because she has one because she had a lot of soaps on tape, and she put them all on DVD.
And then we can take the DVDs, and then we can
digitize them.
Yeah,
right.
So let's do it. Seriously.
Did you guys have The Box as a channel in Maine?
No.
The box was oh gosh, maybe 94.
Remember it.
The box was a cable channel that would play nothing but videos. There was no shows, nobody talking, no talking. It's just videos. And so it had a scrolling number on the bottom, and the different videos. If you called in, I think it got charged to your cable bill. If you called in and you chose a video like Fiona Apple Criminal is number 472, then the video would play. And so and so it was they would always show videos either that never got showed on MTV or like 6 months before they started getting shown on MTV. Because for the young listeners, MTV used to stand for music television, and they actually showed music on MTV.
And not Teen Mom.
No reality shows.
But I do like Teen Mom.
But yeah, so they used to have a lot of, I have a lot of VHSs of just recording the box for like.
That's amazing.
So my aunt had a satellite.
And she had the box.
And it was like before DirecTV satellite, it was like the big dish.
It was your aunt that we would go over and watch the dog.
Yes.
She had all kinds of cool channels.
She had tons of channels. Everything. Yeah. So I remember seeing it there.
Because we watched a lot of Canadian.
Yes, there was Canadian
stuff. We watched, what's that Canadian like
Much
MTV?
Music?
Yes, that's what we would watch over there.
Yeah.
That's the box is the first place where I saw White Town, I Could Never Be Your Woman.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what amazingness is this? I saw that on the box.
That song brings back so many memories. She's like a mixture of you and I.
She kind of is.
Isn't that crazy?
That is. That kind of is.
You are like it's kind of crazy.
It is.
Because I hear a lot of her, I hear a lot of you, but I hear a lot of me too.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy.
Like I said, we should all be best friends.
Well, done.
Are you going on the cruise?
No, okay. I'm not going to say officially no. I never really, until I started listening to your podcast and listening to people's like tales of the cruise, I never thought like, oh yeah, I should do that. Even though one of my friends, Lene, has gone, I think this was her 4th one.
Wow.
But now, like, I was listening, I was like, I feel like I kind of have to.
Yes.
But that's the thing too, being here on the West Coast. It's like the cost of the plane ticket and the cost of the cruise ticket. Right. And the cost of, so I'm not saying 100% no, because I know there's still time before the tickets go on sale, and it is next October. So,
right,
possibly.
I really hope so.
I mean, I've never been on a cruise. I'm not opposed to it, but
cruises are fun, and with New Kids on the Block, you can't go wrong.
I know where they go out. It's always super humid, so I'll be super like ridiculous. You mentioned about being sweaty. I don't get like, I'm dancing, I get a little bit sweaty on my forehead, I'm so cute. No, I turn into like full drenched, hot mess.
Oh, that is all of us.
Well,
I have
a sweating problem. Like, I've gone to the doctor and been like, what is this?
Yeah, we went the last time I went out with some coworkers, like there was 6 of us, and we're dancing like we were like at the Abbey, which is like this real famous like gay bar in LA, and all of them had their hair down and they're dancing, and me and my one other friend are like drenched. Our faces are beet red. Like,
yeah, that's me.
I'm like, how did I not bring a hair tie? What was I thinking? And everyone's just like, just a little bit sweaty. Like, I'm like, how do you have your hair down? You guys aren't even sweaty. Oh no, I'm so hot. I was like, you're not.
No, I don't get that.
Look at me and Sylvia. We're drenched. You guys are.
When we went to the concert, I was like, so I've decided like on these styles, and was it Bethany was like, well, why don't you wear your hair down? I'm like, that's not an option.
Yeah. You were talking about that. I was like, yeah, that's me too. I feel ya.
Yep. So be it.
Yeah.
We'll be sweaty messes together.
Yeah.
In the humidity.
Exactly. So keep it. So keep it on the forefront.
Yeah. I definitely need to get a hold of my friend and say, okay, now break down how you make the cruise happen. So, cause the more that I've been listening to the back episodes of the podcast and stuff, I'm like, oh, I feel like I should be there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when we came on, you can hear the first episodes. Brooke was like a hard no.
Like, nope.
She was not budging. She was like, absolutely not. And when I will tell you, before I started talking to people, I was like, nah, it's just not my thing. Like, it's just not something I would do.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I wasn't like a hard no, but it was pretty no. And then I started hearing people talk about it more and more, and they're like, it's so different. It's such an experience. You have to do it at least just one time. So,
Well, here's the thing too. I'm kind of nervous. Like this is the 10th year, the one coming up. Would that be their last one?
I don't know.
Like, oh, we're going out on 10? I mean,
hard to say.
It's hard to say.
I was telling one of my I work in the meat department, and one of my coworkers, he was like, yeah, my wife's all into new kids. She like Donnie's her favorite, and I was like, oh my god. So I try not to talk about new kids too much to him because I know he doesn't care.
Right.
and so it's like, oh, maybe, but yeah, he was like, yeah, like she always talks about like I guess there's like a cruise that happens and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yes, I haven't gone. He's like, would you go? And I was like, maybe, possibly.
So you might have somebody right there with you that can go.
Yeah, totally. Because I asked her, I said, are you going to go for 10? She's like, of course. Like it is not even a thought anymore. Like, yes, totally. I'm going to be there. I'm like, oh.
Oh my gosh. So now you have to go. Because like we need you on there.
I know. But see, that's the other thing too. Like now being like going through the group and like even doing like the Secret Santa and like being involved, I'm like, oh, this is what the community is. Mm-hmm. Like I understand. Like I'm the oldest. I have 2 brothers. I don't have any biological sisters. Some of my best friends aren't huge like new kids. Like my friend Wendy who went, like she's like, this was a lot of fun. She's like, I never thought I'd like, we want to go see new kids. Like, no, not really. But having gone, this is a lot of fun. I was like, yeah. So no one's like a big blockhead except for my friend Lene. But so I was like, okay, whatever. But really now I feel like being in the community you guys made, now I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, this is why people go to the cruise. This is the community that people I've read about, but I'm like, oh, I guess, yeah, everybody likes new kids. Yeah, whatever. But now I'm like, oh, I see.
Yes.
And that was the difference for me.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, so it's not just like a bunch of crazy women, like,
or people that like that know you know what I mean? Like I felt like I didn't know enough. I felt like I didn't know. I wasn't
like new kids fanatics that are like,
which I feel like I'm almost there anyway now.
Yeah, but like I don't know the name of Jordan's cat when he was 7. Like I don't know,
and I felt like maybe we'd be looked down upon. Did you feel that same way? Yeah, I felt. Yeah.
I thought it was very. I thought from the meet and greet I did, like the way that people are real possessive over like, well, this is that. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet then, because I'm just gonna beeline to Joe and not worry about it. So I thought like the group as a whole was more like that, like real possessive and judgy, and I was like, oh, I love Joe, but whatever. But seeing that it is more of like a warm.
Yeah.
Kind of happy place makes me kind of put it in perspective a little bit.
And they're happy to tell you things that you don't know. That's what I love. Is like I can just be like at first, because I mean we've said numerous times we're not experts. We aren't.
Yeah.
No. And we have no connection to them.
No, we don't. And we're just here to spread stories.
Yeah.
I mean like not like rumors, but like we're here to spread love and stories and friendship. Like that's the whole purpose of this whole thing.
Right.
But like we thought maybe people would be like, oh, you're not really a fan because you don't know this, or because you haven't done this or experienced this. And that's not the case at all.
Which I think maybe exists somewhere, because I got the same kind of vibe, but I don't know where I got that vibe. So I think there's like maybe like a far out kind of that those people do exist, but I think they're far and few between.
Well, I think that's it.
Yes.
And because I got that vibe the first meet and greet we did.
Very much so. Very much so.
Just from like a couple of the girls, but you know what? All it takes is a couple of strong personalities.
But then there were the other ones that were like, oh, this is your first time meeting Joe. You've never met him. The girl next to me, thank God for her. Never met her before in my life. Never talked to her in my life. But like, I couldn't get anything out because I was so just like, is this really happening? So thankfully she talked, but I had never met her, I did not expect that.
That happened the first time I met Joe when he did that solo show up in Monterey where I was living. I heard it on the radio, and that's the thing, as I went to get the tickets. And so I'm in line, I'm by myself, and there was a girl next to me who was about my age. And so I just started talking to her. And so I made a friend in this thing. And so I took a picture of her with Joe, and then she had my camera and took the picture of me with Joe. And so we I told him, I was like, oh yeah, you were on Loveline and they gave good advice. And they said, leave the guy. And then you were like, see what happens. And he started laughing. And I thought, yes, I got him to laugh. And so he's like, yeah, it sounds like me, full of great advice. And so we took the picture, and in every picture, everyone's kind of like leaning and he's just kind of sitting there. But I'm like climbed on the table. So I am entirely on top of the table and like touching his elbow.
That's so
cool. And so like I get the closest photo to him because that's what we did. And so we were like, oh yeah. And so me and the girl, I don't remember her name, but we're like, yeah, thanks for coming to Monterey. And we like played it super cool, completely fine. We got out of the building, went down the side, and we were screaming like we were 10 years old.
Oh yes.
Not even embarrassed. Like this girl I just met. And we're just like both of us melting down 1,000%. I was like, okay, well, have a good wedding at your friend's wedding. And yeah, nice to meet you. And like off we went.
That's insane.
I love that.
But at least we were cool enough to his face to like geek out when we were out of earshot.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on.
Totally.
Yes. And thank you so much for sharing your stories. And we're going to have to hear about, we know you have other stories, so we're just going to have you on again.
Right. And I feel like we could talk forever.
Yes.
Like I really do.
And now I think you like really need to be planning, not to pressure, no peer pressure, but cruise,
But get on the cruise.
Right. Exactly. Because we have to meet you now. So.
Yep. So that's it.
I know.
Oh, that's all done.
No. I mean,
official.
But
we totally get it.
We get it.
We totally get it
because
it's like us, we're just like, okay, how are we going to make this happen? Because like we've said in other episodes, the only reason why the other thing happened was because, it happened to be my 5-year anniversary at my work, and
they paid.
So, happy days. I then never would have been able to afford that otherwise. So now we're looking at like a similar cost,
right? And
trying to figure out how to make it work, and
financially, but also logistically with like families and jobs.
And so far,
and we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, that's the way I'm going for it now. Like, yep, we're going.
It's like
we'll figure the rest out.
It's like what Maria is always saying, and Jackie, put it in the universe.
Yep,
and it will happen. So we're putting it in the universe.
Okay, I think that works. I had, all the New Kids posters in my room when I was 10. Mom was like, you could have that corner, but if you start expanding past that the corner of your room, that's too much. I was like, that's fine. So I packed in like 80.
Have the same mom?
Well, she let me put them up. She just was like, okay, this is getting a lot. But I remember being young and like watching those videos and like watching the VHSs and being like, someday I will meet him. Yep. And not knowing how, not knowing that he'd do a random mall show or that I'd want to jump him in the audience at Loveline, which I was very proud I didn't. That was my first reaction. Was like,
I'm proud of you.
I was like, that would like, I had to think in my brain, no, don't run the stage. That's a bad idea. And so I just sat there and watched him talk for an hour. But yeah, never thought that would happen. Never thought, oh, hey, they're going to come back and do amazing shows, or he's going to go to a podcast festival and be right there.
Seriously.
Right. I'm telling you, this throwing it into the universe thing, I am very unlucky. Let's just be honest. Brooke, you know this. I'm just very unlucky.
Or maybe you should stop saying that and then you'll become more lucky.
Well, I will tell you, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx things because I'm very superstitious, but I am throwing it into the universe more. I feel like the more that I'm willing to put myself out there, better things are happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
I think so.
I like never would put myself out there and like do something that would scare me more than I already am.
Yeah.
This is, if you would have asked me last year if we were going to do this,
you'd be terrified.
Like let's just be honest. We never thought it was going to get, we were hoping, but I hadn't had that vision quite yet of like more than maybe 5 people listening. Right. So more and more I'm like putting it out like, okay, I'm going to go out, like making that stuff for Joe. That was like really putting myself out there. I'm not going to lie. I never can take ideas. You know how I am. Yeah. I always have these ideas. And if I don't do it exactly how the idea, if I do have a vision and it doesn't come out exactly how I envisioned it.
Right.
And
then you consider it a fail.
This one, I had a vision. I planned it accordingly. I did it to the point that it was just like it was like I was able to say, okay, I can't do this. I'm going to do this. I can't do this. I'm going to do this. And then it worked out. And
I think too, of people of our age bracket receiving like a mixtape in 2017, I think that is amazeballs.
It was awesome.
I'm putting it out into the universe right now. So Joe, if this is the first one you're listening to, if you're listening, let's hang out.
Hi. Let Nikki fix your website.
We haven't said that in a long time.
No, we haven't.
Well, I felt like people were kind of getting like, okay, Nikki, we get it. You want to fix his website. We get it.
Well, it needs to be fixed.
Well, it shouldn't be broken.
Right.
I can do it.
He's not some random indie singer who has nobody that can help him. There's no reason for that to be down.
No.
Let me help you out. I can help you with that.
I am listening to his podcast. I am a little bit bummed that he's moving back to the East Coast.
I'm not.
Because I'm a little excited. Sorry.
Well, no, for you guys, it's good because he's right there now, living in the Los Angeles area. It happens all the time where you kind of just run into people. So him living in like Los Angeles and me working and being around here, I'm like, well, I could just run into Joe McIntyre somewhere, which is totally plausible. I saw Ricky Lindholm from Garfunkel and Oates at a diner when I was there with my friend last month. You just run in, you just see people. So I was like, well, Joe lives here. I could run into him somewhere. And I'm like, he's moving to the East Coast again. Can't randomly.
You still have time. Throw it into the universe. You're going to run into him before he leaves.
Yes, you are.
Throw it into the universe, Charlene.
Isn't that like The Secret, like Oprah?
Yes. You're throwing it.
You get a vision board and put a little vision up there.
I can visualize my vision board right now.
I can visualize mine too, but I don't.
I just need some oak tag.
Right.
So thank you so much, and
thank you
for coming on. We really appreciate it,
it,
and we hope to have you on again soon because you have so many amazing stories.
Whenever we can work it out, I am 1,000% on board.
Yes, and it was great. We had such a good time talking with you, and we really hope now you'll get into cruise frenzy mode. I'm
gonna do the research on it, see if I can make that actually happen.
That's all we can ask.
That's all we can ask. Because we need to see you. So
I know.
It'll be great.
I don't know what's further from Long Beach, California than probably Maine.
Yes. And we're like almost in like northern Maine. It's kind of bad. Up here in the
We're like right
tundra.
in the middle.
It's far.
Yes.
It's pretty far.
But we're like surrounded by Canada.
That is true.
So we're up here.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Thanks.
And we'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you guys.
Okay.
I love you guys. You guys are wonderful.
We love you too. Bye.
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 Okay.
Thanks, Charlene.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We love you.
Yeah. You're funny.
We think.
Yes. We usually say that we're doing this outro like before
we
talk to her.
Right.
So, because, hey, this is the way production works.
And this is the way it's going to have to work tonight.
Right. So, we hope you like this format. We're going to be trying some new things in the next few weeks. Brooke, like we said, is leaving this week.
Right. Going on vacation.
Friday. Yes. But we're going to be starting stuff for December.
Right.
So this was fun.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And
I think you know where to find us on social media.
Yeah. And if you're new listening to us, go back and listen to the other episodes.
Please.
You might like them.
Please do.
Some of them might be a little rough, but that's okay.
The further back you go, the rougher they get.
That's right.
But it's all good.
It is.
It's raw.
It is raw. Raw and unrated. Wait, what was that from?
I don't know. So thanks.
Yeah, so please keep sending your stories.
Yep.
Yeah, keep sending us your stories.
Just send your stories in.
Yeah.
We'll read them and maybe we'll put them on the show.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
My so-called whatever at gmail.com. Send them to that email address. Send us your pictures, your stories, whatevs.
All the above.
Yep, and we'll read them out.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Perfect.
Later.
Looking forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.